Basinamkele kwakho kwinkqubo yethu iVOB Voice of the Bay. Igama lam ngu-PCM Lamani. Good afternoon once again and welcome to your favorite talk show, your VOB on channel 260. We are live from eGqeberha channel 260 DSTV yakho. This afternoon we are hosting Nelson Mandela Bay MMC for Electricity and Energy. Councillor Ziyanda Mqokoyi. She is a deployee of the EFF in the council. And Mr. Ondela Kepe, who is the spokesperson for electricity under Democratic Alliance. He is also a councillor, a PR councillor in Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality. We're going to focus on electricity here in the Nelson Mandela Bay, because we have observed a number of times whereby we experience a number of outages in this municipality. So we are going to focus very closely in this matter of electricity. Again, in this show, we will be hosting our political analyst, Mr. Kululeko Mantana, where we will be talking about the developments in Madlanga Commission, especially this week. We will be talking about the testimony of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, mostly. But for now, allow me to welcome Councillor Ziyanda Mqokoyi, who is responsible for electricity and energy. In fact, he is the political head of electricity and energy. MMC, siyakwamkela. Welcome to VOB.
Ndibulise kuwe Tato Lamani, ndibulise abaphulaphuli be-VOB, nguziyanda esibasowutshilo Ziyanda Phakama Mqokoyi, the political head of electricity and energy.
Yes. Democratic Alliance Nelson Mandela Bay spokesperson, Ms. Councillor Kepe, welcome.
Engosi kakhulu Percy, and let me also greet you and the viewers at home, and thank you for the invite for us to come here and engage.
And thank you very much, both of you, for honoring this panel discussion. Nelson Mandela Bay faces further outages as electricity infrastructure nears total collapse. Do you agree with that statement, MMC?
Tato Lamani, with the viewers at home, yes, I can agree with that statement. The municipality electricity infrastructure is facing so many challenges, disruption, aging of infrastructure, and also the vandalism. So, with your statement, I can say, yes, we are facing the challenges in the municipality infrastructure of electricity and energy.
Thank you very much. As much as you agree with this statement, as the municipality, what are you doing to save this situation?
There is a plan, Tato Lamani, with the viewers at home. In 2024, after the collapse of Arlington Summerstrand line, there was an assessment that was done to all the municipality infrastructure to check, because there was that collapse that caused by a strong wind, that 4 of the pylons that collapsed in Summerstrand. After that, we have made a thorough assessment to check, is there any possible of another pylons to collapse? Yes, indeed, there was. And then after that, we have made a plan, assessment plan, and then we have made plans, and we have estimated the budget that may needed in order for us to make sure that we are do reconstructions of these pylons. So the money that was estimated, the budget of that plan, that is not a short plan, it was a long plan that is going to take for 5 years since then. And then that plan was approved by the councillor in 2024. The money that the municipality may need to construct these lines of Arlington and other municipality infrastructure that is old. We must remember, Pepsi, this infrastructure was built more than 45 years ago. So we're talking about the infrastructure that is very, very, very old.
Okay,
Number
fine.
2, that is being hindering by vandalism, because even the vandalism is the most thing that is hindering to this infrastructure. So the budget that we need as this electricity department is more than 1.7 billion
Fine.
for us to start this construction. But this is not the short term, it's a long term that is going to take 5 years.
But MMC, these outages have been taking place for quite a while. These outages have been taking place for quite a while. People suffered a lot. Some of them, they lost their home appliances and other important things.
But we must remember some of these outages are not just an outage, are outages that are man-made. If we can recall the incident that has happened in KwaNobuhle, that was a huge outage that was not being caused by the aging of the disruption of the infrastructure, but it was caused by the vandalism.
Okay.
So in some instances...
Okay. Let's invite Nelson Mandela Bay, a Democratic Alliance councillor, who is also responsible for speaking on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Your take on this, on these further outages that are taking place in this municipality, Councillor Ke?
Thank you very much, Pupesi. And I must say, and I must point this out, it is refreshing to listen to the MMC, because what she is telling us here today is in stark contradiction to what the mayor has been saying to the people over the last couple of weeks. The mayor on numerous occasions has denied having knowledge about the vandalism, about the aging infrastructure, and all sorts of things that have led to the most recent collapses. In fact, she stood up in council while responding to Councillor Kaiser and said that they were not aware of the fact that there was vandalism and aging infrastructure on the line of the Greenbushes Bloemendal. But as MMC has correctly revealed here today, there was a report in 2024 already that stated all of these issues. So it's either one of two things are true with this. It's either the mayor is lying to the city and the residents of the city, or she genuinely does not have knowledge of these reports, which then would mean that my honorable MMC here next to me has not been doing her duty as a member of the mayoral committee to inform the mayor of these developments happening in the directory. Even the report that she's talking about, where she's stating that there has been funding that has been allocated to how many or how much we must put towards maintenance for these particular lines. As a standing committee, we haven't caught sight of that. The last report we received was that they were stating the issues. So if there indeed are these reports that MMC is referring to, and she's not bringing them to the standing committee or she's not bringing them to the mayor, then she must take accountability for that. Because ultimately, as you've correctly stated, Pupesi, these outages have repercussions on people. One of the butcheries, I believe it was in Woma, lost over 100,000 rands worth of meat. And when they tried to claim with the insurance said, no, this is based on negligence of the municipality, so you must go claim that stock from the municipality. And the municipality has refused point blank, to the extent that the municipality even refused to allow rebates for residents who are affected by an outages that was due to the neglect and lack of maintenance of this municipality. So the reality of the matter is we need more honest leadership, but not just honest in stating what the issues are, honest in also bringing us into confidence about what we are going to do, and not speak about reports that have not been tabled at the relevant structures.
Iyazivela ke njengokunokwakho umbutho we-Democratic Alliance ukhansela faka ke okanye cacisa ngemeko phakathi kwa-MMC statement asenzayo kwinkqubo yethu yanamhlanje malunga nombane. Kwelinye icala kutsho yena ukhansela uKepe usodolophu yena uthi akazinto ngoku kuchazwa ngukhansela Mqokoyi, who is the head or political head of electricity and energy in this municipality. We'll go for a commercial ad break, and then when we come back, we'll continue with this discussion around the outages in this municipality. Let's go for a commercial ad break. Welcome back once again. You are still watching your talk show on Channel 260, your Voice of the Bay, with myself, Percy M. I am still with my guest, MMC for Electricity and Energy, Councillor Ziyanda Mqokoyi, and Democratic Alliance PR Councillor Mhlekazi Ondela Kakepe. Welcome back, councillors. There's some allegations that has been leveled against you before we go for a commercial outbreak. Do you want to respond?
Yes, but perhaps I want to respond to the allegation that says the report has not been tabled to the Standing Committee. The report that I'm talking about of the plan that is for 5 years to redo or to construct, because we are seeing that the infrastructure is too old. It was approved in the council in 2024 August. So it's the report that is old, not the report that still needs to go to the Standing Committee.
Do you both sit in that portfolio committee of
Yes.
electricity and energy?
Now, Pepsi,
Why he is not aware about what you are saying?
I don't know about why. Maybe funeke recall, because the report that I'm talking about was served in the council. The plan to reconstruct.
Were you part of that meeting, Councillor Kep?
Like I said, and I indicated here, the report that was served in front of the Standing Committee was the report that happened post the collapse in 2024. And it was responding to the call for an audit of the critical infrastructure. All of these other elements that MMC is referring to in terms of the 5-year plan and the monies that were attached to the plan were not part of that report. That report was basically a problem statement, I can put it like that. That was telling us and indicating to us what the problems are, where the issues are. To the extent that what was raised in that meeting was the fact that we did not even get the detail of these pylons, which ones are high priority, which ones are low risk at the, currently, which ones are going to prior. And that was in November of 2024. So I find it very difficult now to engage when MMC is saying in 2020, in August already, there was a report of that detail, when the one that came to us in November didn't have all the details that she's referring to.
So you have no idea, especially of the 4 pylons that the MMC has just mentioned?
We do have an idea. It was part of the report. Yes, the one that Mayor was denying in council herself. She said they were not aware of the problems that are happening on the Blumenthal.
Was the MMC present in that meeting?
We were all present. Yes.
Your take on what Councillor Kepe is saying about the mayor?
What I can say, I can't respond to what executive mayor had said, but what I know, there was a report after the collapse of Summerstrand. So I will just say what I know. I won't respond on what executive mayor.
So you don't want to account to the residents of Nelson
I want to account-
tell them the truth.
Okay, Babes, I want to account as I am doing it now. I can't account on someone saying, because Kepe is quoting executive mayor.
Do you agree on what he is saying about the mayor? That the mayor didn't know about what you were saying in that meeting.
Kapinde, Babes.
He is saying the mayor was not aware, as the executive mayor, he was not aware about the aging infrastructure according to the report which was tabled in that meeting, according to the statement that has been uttered now by by Councillor Kerr.
What I can say when Tatulamani is that during the collapse of 2024 in Summerstrand, those four structures that were collapsed, executive mayor was part of people in that Summerstrand to overseeing the process, to overseeing the work that has been done. The report was also tabled in council. So if executive mayor did not know about that report.
No, I'm interested in the statement that Councillor Gepe is saying or has said. The mayor didn't know about the aging infrastructure, because what we are talking about, it was identified by the Auditors General in the council meeting of the 29th of January this year. So it's very important what we are talking about. We need you to account councillors.
Tatulamani, as I said, as the municipality, as this Department of Electricity and Energy, we are aware about the aging of infrastructure. But these two collapses, the incident, the recently one, and the one that has happened, yes, it's part of the aging of infrastructure, but it was not caused by the aging of infrastructure. It was caused by the strongly wind that...
Natural causes.
Yes, natural causes, we may say that. There is a plan when about PEPs. We have started with the Summerstrand line.
No, we are coming to your plan.
Oh, all right.
We are coming to your plan. Let's again go to the crumbling pylon near Bushy Park. What is happening? Why all the time we find some challenges around this pylon near Bushy Park?
In Bushy Park, when about PEPs, is part of the plan. When we were requesting the funding to...
We are coming to your plans, but why there were so many challenges around this crumbling pylon near Bushy Park? What caused that?
As I said, the cause of this collapse of this Bushy, including the Bushy Park, number one is the aging. We won't deny that. Two, it's vandalism. And three, it's something like that, but it's now that we are in this city where there's wind, there's a sea, there's that soil that cause
coronation.
Yes, coronation. So it's part of those challenges that we are facing as the municipality.
Okay. Councillor, do you want to say something around these crumbling pylons, especially the four that were mentioned in the report?
Of course, Percy. Look, Percy, I think first things first. If you were to ask me, based on the statements that I made about the mayor and MMC, a very quick response would be, I personally would be more inclined to believe what MMC is saying over the mayor. In the sense that in 2024, August already, the mayor alluded to the fact that they are going to put money aside for maintenance of infrastructure in 2020. The very same mayor who 2 weeks ago said she was not aware of the corrosion on that line. But let's park that a bit and go to these particular pylons that have collapsed. The reality here, Percy, is that those pylons are designed to have a lifespan of 30 to 40 years. They were built 45 years ago. In 2017,
So their lifespan is
it's
over
over,
now.
Percy. It's over. There are even we want to blame the wind, we want to blame the sea, and those pylons have done the job that they were meant to do. We are the ones who are supposed to now be putting plans in place to move from those. A typical example about the design, Percy. Those pylons, if you look at them, they have lines running on either side. It's 2 circuits running on one structure. It's impractical in the sense that if the pylon collapses, you can't now fix one line while at least you are still pulling electricity from another line because the entire structure has collapsed. Which is why it was proposed for them to have monopoles rather than to have these lattice structures again. Why is that critical? It's critical because in 2018 already, along that entire line, going past Bushy all the way to Arlington, there are monopoles that have already been installed there.
Okay.
But the leadership of this city has been unable to make sure that we execute that plan and transfer those lines to the
When you were in power as Democratic Alliance, did you also experience these challenges under this Directorate of Electricity and Energy?
Like I said, Percy, those monopoles were installed in 2018 already. At the time, the MMC was a MSC under the DA-led government.
Okay.
Unfortunately, kwenzeka le nto yenzekileyo ke in terms of being removed from the coalition government, and for some reason it seemed that those plans were forgotten and fell by the wayside.
Okay, when we come back from the ad break, we will hear from the MMC about their future plans around the issue or the challenges of electricity and energy. For now, let's go for a commercial ad break. Sibuyele kakhona sikunye nawe apho ekhaya ngaleli thuba siqola siqukumbela ke kwi panel discussion between the two councillors, the one who is responsible for electricity and energy, Councillor Ziyanda Mqokoyi, who's an MMC for electricity and energy, and the DA spokesperson, Councillor Ondela Gepe. According to the AG's report, he has advised that as the municipality, you need to do something urgently to make it a point, these challenges that are facing our municipality, especially in your directorate that you are heading, Councillor Ziyanda. Tell us, what are your plans?
Oh, Bebsi kwakhona nabaphulaphuli i-plan is already there. As babe senshilo ngaphambili ukuthi there is a plan that was approved. But what we are facing as the municipality, we are faced by the challenges of fundings. The money that is being allocated to us, it can't cover all the work that is in the plan. So we are asking even the National Treasurer to look into the turnaround strategies and the plan that we have put forward and start the...
If I may ask MMC, what is your budget for this plan?
The budget for this, okay, to start with a mid or short and medium, it can be 235,000 to start the Arlington line, the Summerstrand
200?
line. 235 million. That one we can start the Summerstrand line and finish it up because there are monopoles that has already been planted or already been there. So the work that is short, because the report says we need about 100 monopoles to be implanted. We have already started with that project, but we need more funds so that we can finish it all. But to make sure that all the aging of the entire city, we will need about 1.7 billion That is a huge money with the current challenges that we are facing as the South Africa as a whole.
Okay. Councillor Kepe, do you find it possible for the municipality to work around these challenges of electricity and energy?
100%, Percy. I think under the right leadership, this municipality can turn around. A typical example is that the plans that are currently in place, Directorate here too, are makeshift plans from year to year. We do not have a master plan in the E&E Directorate, at least not one that has been presented to the Standing Committee. Why is this important? It's important because as a city, you cannot be reactionary when dealing with maintenance issues. You can't only want to plan and budget when a collapse happens. You have to be able to plan ahead of time and make sure that your aging infrastructure is well taken care of, or at its time of expiry, it is replaced.
So it must be an ongoing
It has to
repairing.
Maintenance budget cannot be a compromise. It cannot be something that is done on a by the way. For example, Putpers, when it comes to the operating budget of our directorate, those depots that are allocated a budget for maintenance and so on, you will find that in the middle of the year, a project comes up and the first monies that are being varimented or deviated are from the maintenance budget. So politicians cook up something and they say, this is a project that we want to do. We've thought about it now. Let's take money. Where do they go? They go to the maintenance budget. And depots are now left with their hands on their head because now they are unable to carry out some of the maintenance plans that they've made. By the way, maintenance plans as a standard, like I said, should be part of a grander master plan, not a year-to-year maintenance plan. So that's the first point of call. Leadership that is decisive, that has a long-term vision, that is able to give that direction and not hop and hop and move from one idea to the other, compromising very critical infrastructure in the institution.
Your response, Councillor Mkokoli, before we go to time frames of your plan.
Oh, all right, Pepsi. Ndiyabawela ke bona nje uCouncillor Kepe apha ecani kwam allude to these projects where the project has been implemented okanye has been cooked, then zabekwe ecaleni, and then we have taken money to the maintenance money. So we last standing committee sethu it was no.
Can you assist Councillor Kepe? Can you assist her?
Very, very easily.
Briefly, ne?
Very easily. But
maybe one or two projects.
There's projects, for example, like Mabandla, umzekelo, eyaphelelwe imali halfway through. Bafuna ukudivert funds from projects.
Which Mabandla are you talking about?
Sorry, yeah, Mabandla in Kareha as well as Estrondale, the substation in Estrondale.
Quafort substation.
Quafort. And there was money that had to be moved around that was going to now maintain a substation, yase Bethelsdorp, for example. Just a typical example.
Do you want to respond?
Ndicela ukurespond to these two incidents. There was money to upgrade those two substations athetha ngazo, and then funds zaphela esithubeni if ndinoyibeka ngolo hlobo. The Bethelsdorp one, because there was no contractor in place, hence we had to move because there is no work that has been already started in there to allocate this in these two substations ebese zizogqiba izona. So ndifuna ukumkhumbuza uCouncillor Kepe ukuba kwi-last standing committee sethu ebesinazo, we were sitting around about 99, if my memory serves me well, over 90% of the maintenance. The money that was allocated to do maintenance for this financial year, 2024-2025, it was done for maintenance. But ndifuna uphinde ndikhumbuze ke Pepsi uba municipality as the whole ubethwa yi-challenge yoba i-infrastructure yakamasipalati iyavandalizwa. So when we are about to deal with these things and then we have to shift to this maintenance, to go and make sure that wherever vandalism yenzeke ngakhona, we restore the power. So it's one of the challenges that is redirect her to another thing that was not been planned. But the plan is there. The maintenance money this financial year, it was used for maintenance.
Okay.
Time frames?
Time frames in your plan?
Time frames is on up. If the municipality, we are not talking about the E&E department, because E&E department has done its work by giving us the plan, by doing the assessment, by saying that the budget that we may need to do this work, ikhona. But it needs all of us as the councillor to make sure that we allocate the money that is being needed. The reason why as project is just because what we approve as the councillor, we approve the money that is limited, that is not going to finish up the whole project. So imali that will be allocated to this directorate.
Does the opposition parties assist in finding solutions in these challenges?
I can say that
They
because
do assist.
we need a collective decision when it
Do
comes.
they assist?
They are not. If no,
Why
but
are
when
you
it comes to the council, all of us as the councillor, we need to talk with one voice, because this
Why
is
are you
not
not
for
assisting?
the opposite side, it's for the
Why are you
service
not, why are you not
delivery.
assisting as opposition parties in terms of finding solutions?
Percy, it's rather unfortunate, the statement that MMC is making, because the reality of the matter is we do assist. We sit in committee, we write letters, we write motions. I had 2 motions just 2 weeks ago that I took to council that was supposed to address some of these issues, particularly around streetlights, that they rejected themselves. So we do come with solutions, we do come with proposals, but because it's coming from the opposition, sometimes I manually prepare
Okay.
based on who it's coming from.
Let's leave it there for now. We wish you all the best in terms of finding solutions around these outages that are taking place in our municipalities. Thank you very much for honoring this interview this afternoon, Councillor Kep and you, MMC Mkokoyi.
Thank you very much.
Let's go for a commercial break. When we come back, my guest will be our political analyst, Mr. Nkululeko Montana. Focus on Madlanga Commission. Siwile kakhona evenkleni ndikuthembisile into okokuba sabe sikunye naye Mr. Nkululeko Montana, our political analyst. We'll be focusing on what has been taking place during the week at Madlanga Commission. At Madlanga Commission. Mr. Montana, welcome.
Thank you, Sasas, to the viewers.
It was a very interesting week at Madlanga Commission, especially to the testimony which was presented by Paul O'Sullivan.
Ad hoc committee.
Ad hoc committee, not at Madlanga. Thank you for that. Ad hoc committee in Parliament. Can you just take us through on what has transpired during the course of the week, especially to the testimony of Paul O'Sullivan? Because he has revealed a number of things about himself, his qualifications, to lecture certain individuals about. He spoke about 1,500 people who were interested in police services, including our president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. Another thing he spoke about, in fact, he confirmed that he is a member of AfriForum. I think on that you will respond, Mr. Montana. Another interesting thing, there were a lot of things that he revealed, but he was so difficult when his presentation started because he instructed the parliamentarians or the members of the ad hoc committee that they must not go beyond 1990. In fact, he must not be questioned about what has happened prior 1990. That's another thing that I find it so interesting. But let me afford you that opportunity to tell us more.
Yes, thanks, Sasas. As a way of introduction and a recap, because I'm sure you are aware by now that I was always skeptical against commissions like the ad hoc committee and the Madlanga commission. I'm not saying today I am not skeptical, but they also give, on the other hand, a reflection, ne image, ne mirror, country yethu, where are we, or what is happening. I always say to you, in Dokubangabana, our country is delving into a fragile state and a mafia state. I think we have arrived, Kona, mafia state, the way things are, because siyayibona into kubangabana how the cartels zisicapture ngayo
the infiltration,
the organs of states, amapolisa, amathembisa hospital, where they siphoned money is like 360 million. I mean, that is capture cartel. So that is a mafia state where people are being killed abatestifayayo nabangati that is a mafia state. That is Colombia. That is Mexico. So it's all
that is
those,
Brazil.
That is Brazil. So that as a way of introduction, we have now arrived there and say recap. And now going into Paul O'Sullivan. Paul O'Sullivan says ndimfollowishe ngeli xesha lakaSilebi. I must confess that he captured my heart at that time because I perceived him.
When the late Jackie Silebi was a national commission.
National commission, because there were people in cartels, Opret Campbell, Kuko Aglioti, and others. So he was after them. So I read his book at the same time about them, and I've also read his latest book. But something then was odd when I was in England, and he was also there calling a seminar. In fact, not one seminar. He was working with Lord Haynes and Lord Boateng. So I listened to the seminars, and they were white people only. The way he was so detailed, ne secrets, bethetha ngazo phaya, they seemed odd kumntu nje uzayifumana phela information. I always thought then into bangawana mhlambi unayi evidence yalento ayithethayo, because he was calling those seminars. Then I didn't know why he is calling these seminars. And Lord Haynes means this is a member ye-parliament yase-England. I-parliament yase-England is divided into two, the House of Commons and the House of Lords. So these two people, and Lord Haynes was born in South Africa, like so une connection in South Africa. So then go back after the 6th of July yakamkhwanazi. I was so happy then into yokuba ndive into yokuba ngabana uzawutestify, because I was always looking forward kwinto yokuba ngabana the witness that I'm looking for Paul O'Sullivan, because I thought ke ngoku uzawuza ne-evidence refuter all these things and plus additional information. But I find zero evidence for Paul O'Sullivan in terms ye-allegations ezibekwe ngumkhwanazi. And eyona nto ndiyibonileyo isikakhulu into yokuba ngabana naku-ad hoc committee le eyona nto kube kugxilwe kuyo i-credibility yakhe. More than putting into yokuba ngabana what about this allegation, umkhwanazi uthi ngawo uJames, the Honorable James from Action SA tried into yokuba ngabana amze naye kwanaye uPaul O'Sullivan amprobe and esene allegations asithi angakwazanga uziphendula uPaul O'Sullivan that when now you have been paid 100 million by ku-slash fund esi wena uthi zange ufumane although ke ngoku-AP esithi no ndandifumene kuzikopions now uyafumanisa uba naye he is involved. Now I'm going to a very important point le nto ibindenza into yoba ngabana ndibe ne-interest kakhulu. I was interested into yoba ngabana is he not a spy? I was interested into yoba ngabana ingaba akasezona i-spy uPaul O'Sullivan, but when he admitted himself saying that he worked for a British counterintelligence espionage. Espionage, there is nothing, can go to a dictionary. Espionage has got to do with the spy. Those are spy activities, whether they counter or... And the only one, which military intelligence, yes, British, yes, Britain, meaning the MI5 and the MI6. MI5, the internal intelligence, as England. The MI6 is a foreign counterterrorism, yes, yes, England, Britain. So, uyivumile. So, disjoin ke idots umsasazi ukuthi okay, le information ebenayo uPaul O'Sullivan, the information ayifumana through this MI6 intelligence, through ubuspy bakhe. The reason why people thought that he was arrogant, Paul O'Sullivan was not arrogant by into yoba athi andizozikhupha andifuna ubuzwa ngefamily yam, andifuna ubuzwa ngopre 1990, andifuna ubuzwa nge-qualifications, because spies ba-acta ngola hlobo. One basic course that I've got from Russia 2019, when I was told about the spies, exactly the spy one akazukuchazela into yokuba ngabana ungubani kakuhle kakuhle, awuzothi umazi uba ungubani uhlala phi, i-qualifications zakhe, because uzambona ke ngolaa nto ayenzayo, because ubuspy funeka ungabonakali into yokuba ngabana yintoni lo uyenzayo.
So these are the characteristics of a spy.
These are the characteristics of a spy. And the second characteristic of a spy, what I have been taught, into yokuba ngabana kufuneka at least the basic into yobana qualify as a spy. One, you must delve into a public affair yomntu, public, uba uphila njani publicly, uphila njani privately, uphila njani secretly. Z3 ezo nto and as fun.
Let's quickly go for a last commercial break, Mr. Montana, so that we can come back and talk, because it's so interesting that we are talking about. Masibaleke senga 7. Kakhulu ngokuba kunye nathi sesiqala siqokumbela ke inkqubo yethu iVOB Voice of the Bay. Welcome back, Mr. Montana.
Yes. So what I was saying, it's easy then into yokuba ngabana ndiyifumane public life yakho uba uphila njani. You can get it from Facebook, I can get it ndiyokudibana nawo esitubeni ndiyijonge social life. I-private life, little bit difficult, but I can get it because mhlawumbi ngumntu wena usihlala lapha kuwendlini ongadibani nabantu kakhulu. But your wife will know about your private life because but your secret life ayazona nayinkosikazi yakho. Ungahlala nayo pha ingayazi uba, I'm sorry to say that you are gay or something like that. That is your secret life. So a spy okanye angayazi noba ngabana usispy unayo le mali but akayazi uba uyifumana because that is your secret life. So a good spy that umntu ofuneke onokwazi ukuba sispy ngumntu okwaziyo ke ngoku upenetrate to your secret life. Now uyafumanisa ngokuPaul O'Sullivan into yobana uyiyo la type into yobana uzambuza into yobana uthetha njani noMatthew Phosa, uqale njani, utraina uCyril, uqale njani. I'm sure everybody is no uthetha njani naba bantu, but uthetha njani no-Fivers, but uyafumanisa u-Fivers uthi hayi bengene kum-ofisini, but the man has got a way of penetrating secrets zabantu and the secrets of the state. So that's how a spy, I'm just trying to say, that's how a spy sisebenza ngakhona.
You know, Mr. Montana, another interesting part, one of the things that Mr. Paul O'Sullivan that has mentioned in that ad hoc committee, I think it was on Wednesday, he has mentioned that he was very much interested in knowing Africans. That's what he has attracted him to come to South Africa. He wanted to know more about Africans. Your take on that?
Yes, because at that time, it was before 1994. Now the government, the Afrikaners, and now kufuneke ke ngoku bathathe into his confidence and bambone into bangabana uyintoni uyayithanda Africans, and then that is why maybe ezothi wajoyina ntoni azojoyina i-AfriForum at the end of the day. But uzama ukuzifaka, uzama, it's a way of association with these people abaphetheyo ngoko, and at the same time kunaba bazawuphatha atshoyo nayo into bangabana umncedile ubani for into ethile umncedile uRamaphosa, because he knew at that time utsho naye uba nge-12 leya namhlanje kaFebruary ka-1990 le uMandela bephuma ngayo, so uyazile into yoba ngabana there will be opportunities, so wazilungiselela kweza opportunities. But all what we know into yoba ngabana akanazo i-qualifications zazo zonke izinto azenzile, kodwa indawo ahlala kuzo like i-AXA is a key point, uyakwazi ukreka angena, but that's why I was talking about this public, private and secret uba umuntu akwazi ungena kuzo. So uyakwazi unayo la ability into yobana azokwazi uba i-reservist, but ufumanise le reservist man ifumana nee-awards. I-reservist ngoba ile nto yayo caba izawuthi ifumane ii-awards zobupolisa kodwa i-reservist usuka uyojonga uba lipolisa nje lase-airport kodwa umdibana naye ngokuseyi-executive yase-AXA kwi-key point. Iyenze ke njani ngokusedila neethenda ezingaka all of a sudden engenazo ezi qualifications. So ezi zizimbo zomntu o-infiltratileyo nabantu ababizayo, uyabona into ababona baninzi abantu even nakwi-African National Congress itself, i-Democratic Alliance itself yona eyayo into ibonakele straight into abangabana uyigqibile, because i-silence yayo was too loud kwi-questions zakaPaul O'Sullivan. Abakwazanga nombuza nayiphi na into, and naxa ebuzwa into yokuba ngabana bangapha abantu obaziyo phaa, uba bachazelwe Ian Cameron, babachaza oBarnard, babachaza oBreitenbach. So uyamfuna loo nto u-infiltrate not only i-Democratic Alliance, not only ANC, even i-AfriForum itself. So what I'm trying to say, eyona nto ndiphume nayo ngoPaul O'Sullivan into yoba ngabana i-admission yakhe phofu yoba he worked for i-counterintelligence. Une-instance where agrogrisayo into yokuba ngabana I will even write a letter to i-British Secret Service ndiyiripotele into ezapha eSouth Africa. Apho uzobuzwa ngudikwa khona, kutheni ungaripoti apha kwi-state security salapha eSouth Africa uyoripota kwi-foreign country, uthi hayi benzawuvela nje akakwazi ukuyiphendula loo nto. So leyo i-dots zinto wangabana we were just dealing with i-spy apha eSouth Africa. That's how naked our country is. Kule nto bendithetha ngayo ye-reflection ne-mirror ne-image ye-problem esikuyo.
So all in all, you are saying this is how his testimony will assist the ad hoc committee.
It's not going to assist the ad hoc committee because i-problem ye-spy into yoba akakwazi ngoku ii-sources zakhe ukuzichaza, and ke ngoku i-commission even nemadlanga commission ne-ad hoc le nto uyithethayo funeka ube ne-evidence yayo into yoba ngabana,
so he can't reveal that.
Akakwazi uba uzireveal nako, they can't corroborate la information yakhe. Not that it is not true, because if usispy kuyacaca, and ke utsho naye I'm paying informant for elanto ka ezinto, and wafunyanisa into yoba uphahlane noko uyithengile this expensive radio system phaa endlini yakhe. Ayikho into othi xa eyile phaa kuye eyolatha ufumanise into yoba ngabana ayenzekanga. So you can't say udiscredited, he is a liar, no. But akazuyincedisa nganto ilanto ad hoc committee because akazukwazi ukuzirevila zonke ii-sources zakhe ezi-important efuneka ezirevilile.
Very interesting. I think day 1 and day 2, DA and ANC were so quiet when he was presenting his testimony.
Yes.
What could be the case? Or the reason?
Xa sizawuthetha ngolu hlobo saso uyava amagama la ndiwabizayo elokugqibela ndibizileyo namhlanje likaMatthew Phosa. I'm not saying these people kunento abayifumeneyo kuyo, kodwa uyachaza into yobana I helped Mr. Phosa and because ye-legal to all, because i-office ye-ANC yokuqala before the Shell House uyasichaza babika isitrato esithile ndisilibele ngoku. So zayirentwa kuye, i-ANC yayirenta kuye la kwikhampani yakhe la building, and then yasponsor yi-Shell House nguShell. So that's why i-ANC ke yaba no Shell House, because yasponsor nguShell. Babe uthi ke ngoku i-favor endayenza la i-ANC into yoba ngabana zange ndibabhatalise ipenalty into yokuba ngabana beyikhathishile ilist ndabayeka. Why? Was he paid? Was that a favor? So more than basijonge i-testimony yakhe funeke sijonge nee-implications zayo around kule nto uyithetha into yoba why abanye abantu bengathethi. Into la ayinike i-DA, Democratic Alliance. AfriForum utshilo wathi no, ndiyayinika, ndinayo i-donations endizinika yona noba azikhunkuli but uyazinika i-donations. And uCyril xa ethetha ngayo akathi President Cyril okanye uyambona uba umthetha with the-first names. Le nto kwa-uchairperson oLekganye benengxaki. There's one member of parliament or ad hoc committee benengxaki uba mani xa uthetha ngopresident wena awuthi President Cyril. So umntu xa kubiza on the first name basis baphesi into that means nidla kuhlala kunye okanye there's something mhlawumbi enidibanisayo. So you can also connect those dots into yoba banintsi abantu akwazileyo ukuba cracka privately and secretly mhlawumbi wabanika nezinto okanye i-gratifications ezithile. And one gratification that today I'm talking about yile ye-building ye-ANC le athi khange abanike even a penalty bengakhange bayigqibe i-list term kuze baye Shell House benikwa nguShell. But uyazithetha izinto, uyayazi uba nguShell, uyazile uba nguShell, uyifumana kule information. But ke as he is saying, he's paying informants but akanazo i-qualifications zokubhatala i-informant. But lo mntu une-aircraft, lo mntu uya eAmerica amaxesha uthi xa ebuzwa ngelicense ye-aircraft wayefuna ikhupha wathi hayi ndinayo. Pfizer have been trained into yoba ngabana bebenayo yonke into, babe nemali to buy you okanye to sponsor you xa befuna le nto bayifunayo. They can even have i-aircraft. But as Malema has said, into yoba man, in this space of time una 20 something uyifumene phi imali engaka? Usebenze nje ku-military intelligence yeyiphi enye indawo usebenze kuyo after wathi andizuyithetha kodwa yakwazi uba iPortland i-develop, building develop. So things are not connecting. So things are not connecting ngo-Paul Olsavi. But eyona nto ibalulekileyo msasa kuyo yonke le nto, ii-charges they needed to refute. They needed into yoba even no-evidence leader abeke ii-charges ezi zakamkhwanazi. Today kwinto yakamkhwanazi kubo bonke noMcBride ngamabali, the only thing ephume nayo namhlanje okanye le nto kaPaul Olsavi into yoba ngabana uLieutenant General Khumalo uye wathenga nge-10,000 ihani. Otherwise there is nothing implicates umkhwanazi kuzo zonke umkhwanazi ezinto ebezibeka. So i-6 kaJulayi msasazi, I want to say into yoba we will remember it as i-holiday into yoba ngabana umkhwanazi today sikwazi uthetha nge-ekuruleni nje no-Brigadier Mkhwanazi Julius Abaya ne-Cat Matlala noMolefe Morgan Maumela is because of that 6th of July.
Wow, Mhlekazi Mantani, it's a pity that we are running out of time, but thank you very much for giving us your insight in the proceedings of this week in that ad hoc committee. It's very interesting what has been revealed by Mr. Paul Olusovan. Now we're in a position of waiting and see what will happen next. Let's leave it there for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. for inviting me.
Is there anything that you would like to say?
No, there's nothing Msasazi except that kule nto ugqiba uyithetha into yokuba ngabana into nesayijonga. I'm not into pessimistic kodwa ke eyona nto asikho politicians zazibona kuyo yonke le nto le commission from Uzondo Commission esizawuzibona zibanjwa. And at the same time, as we know that these commissions are not binding, people can take them to court, bayithi review yonke le nto, so it's still going to take time.
Nkosi kakhulu Sebulela.
Thank you, Msasazi.
Masiyiva lapho inkqubo yethu yosuku namhlanje de sibuye sibonane kwixesha elizayo. Kodwa ke ngomso between 6 and 9 in the evening, Nkqubela FM 97.0. Happy Sunday.